Coming up on this week's episode of Flashtalk, Kent State women's basketball head coach Todd Starkey talks about this year's senior class and the 2 games remaining. Kent State alum Scolin MacLean talks about his great time at Kent State University. Kent State women's golf head coach VanDamme chats about the start of the spring season for his club. And finally, Kent State men's basketball head coach Senderoff talks about senior day and the upcoming MAC tournament. All that and more coming up in a flash. Joined by Kent State women's basketball head coach Todd Starkey here on Flash Talk. Coach, your team's on a 3-game win streak now, another rivalry win over the school down the road. What did you say to your team at the halftime break when you're down a point?
Yeah, everybody wants to know last 2 games what my halftime speeches have been. They were very different from each other, but the biggest thing is kind of what they need in the moment, and their response was the same in both, a 29-11 quarter this past weekend, and I thought we did a great job responding to some things. And this time of year is interesting. When you're finishing out the regular season, you've already clinched an opportunity to play in the conference tournament. Every team's playing for a little bit something different. Some teams' seasons are pretty much over. Some teams have already secured their seeds. So there's a lot of mental gymnastics that go on there and that type of thing. But at the end of the day, it's about us continuing to prepare ourselves for the next game up. And ultimately prepare ourselves to be our best when we get to Cleveland.
Janae Tyler had her first career double-double in your most recent win. 21 points. We've seen her have that kind of offensive output before, but 12 rebounds. How big is it?
She had a shoulder injury in that game, and I wasn't even sure she was going to come back, and then she did. I mean, the level of toughness that she showed coming back from that and having her first career double-double at 21 and 12 was phenomenal, and her toughness and fight was really evident in that. Really proud of the way she played.
Jenna Batch ended the Ball State game with 999 points. She eventually reached 1,000 points against Northern Illinois. I know you talked about it a little bit last week, but how impressive is it that she was pretty much able to do this in 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, once again, if you look at the whole body of work, limited scoring in her freshman and sophomore year, and to be able to put up the numbers that she's been able to junior and senior year, it's been prolific. It's been pretty incredible to watch. And she follows that up with a 21-point performance against Akron on 5 threes, and hopefully that's a sign of things to continue to come, because that's a player that can very capable of putting a team on her back. Not that she needs to.
These last 2 games coming up, how important are they against Bowling Green and Toledo?
They are important, and because it's competition and it's and that type of thing. We're pretty banged up right now. To be honest with you, our number one priority is the health of our team and how we can perform in Cleveland. But we also can't lose our competitive edge. I mean, these are 2 games that we would love to win. Bowling Green's a really tough place to play, and I know they're hyper motivated right now. They're still fighting for their seed in Cleveland. And then, of course, Toledo's always a really tough game as well, but it'll be senior night. So a lot of moving parts here at the end.
Deanna Gray with 9 assists the last 2 games, limited turnovers as well. How important is it when she plays well?
And the great aspect for her has been really how she manages the mental side of the game. And here recently, she's done a really good job of, when some things maybe don't go her way early or she doesn't see her shot falling, continuing to play and adding value to the team. And she's still been able to score at times as well, and very effectively. So back-to-back 9 assist games is significant. I mean, that's great ball control. We've asked her to have great ball control. She's doing a great job of finding her teammates. You don't get assists if people don't finish or make shots, so that's a two-person equation there. But Dee's done a great job of really managing things, continuing to push through at the end of the season when everybody's tired, everybody's banged up. I always say if you're not hurt a little bit this time of year or not banged up a little this time of year, are you really playing hard enough?
We saw Bianca Juzo come off the bench against Northern Illinois, had 10 points, didn't miss a single field goal. How excited were you for her to have that type of performance?
Well, I mean, you just saw the reaction of her teammates and fans. I mean, Bianca's not a hard person to root for. She does work very hard. She's got a great personality. She's a phenomenal teammate, and it's always great to see a player get their shine, get their moment in that situation against Northern Illinois. It was great to see her, and we needed her, to show up in that. And we'll need her moving forward too with some of the injuries that we have. So excited about her progression and where she is at this point.
It's senior day on Saturday against Toledo. What can you say about this year's senior class?
This senior class has meant a lot to this program, a lot of records broken by this group. A lot of wins, MAC tournament championship, and we still have more to go. But what this group of seniors has meant to this university, this fan base, it's hard to really put into words and to quantify. But we're excited about the games we have left with them. We're going to try and drain the tank and max out this group.
Todd Starkey ahead of the MAC tournament next week. Coach, thanks for the time.
Sounds good. Go Flashes.
When it comes to reaching your goals, having the right support can make all the difference. That's why we trust Green Lending, Kent State Athletics' exclusive mortgage partner, to help you achieve your home ownership dreams.
Just like on the court, everyone has a role to play. With the right teammates, any dream is possible. Green Lending is here to be that support to help you make those big moves in life.
Visit greenlending.com and let Green Lending help turn your dreams into reality.
Green Lending, helping Golden Flashes achieve their biggest dreams on and off the court.
Welcome back to Flashtalk. We're joined today by one of our associate ADs, friend to everybody at Kent State, Scolin MacLean. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
And we're just having you on. You're shifting your position here at Kent State a little bit, moving back to just being a fan.
Yes.
How does that feel, being here for so many years and being really involved the last couple of years?
It's been a great experience. I mean, I love it here. I feel like I made a little bit of an impact as far as being able to do some design work, just from meeting some people, being in charge of the Varsity K Club and getting to meet all the alumni. It was really special thanks to Maggie McKendry, because she was the one who actually brought me back after COVID to kind of help out as a volunteer that eventually turned into a full-time job. I mean, it's amazing what she does for the Golden Flashes Club. She is, it's amazing how she can herd cats in a tornado of catnip and be able to do it with such grace and such poise, and be able to have so many irons in the fire at once. And I am lucky that I have her as a mentor. I always told her that someday I'm going to grow up to be just like her, and hopefully I can. So yes, it's been a great experience. As I said, I really love this place. This is ever since I was an undergrad. Before the internet, I was the guy that used to look in papers and find the scores on every Sunday and try to come back as much as I can. But I was working in another university, so I had had to be there for most of it. But when I moved down to Atlanta, I bought a place up here just to come to, because I was here so many times at so many games. I get to meet up with like the cowbell crew, and luckily I'm a member there. And we just had a great time enjoying all the games. Now, the work side of it, I'm on the other side of the curtain now. I'll be a fan again, which I'm not complaining about, because it is fun. It always has been fun for me, and it will continue to be fun.
Over the years, have there been any specific sporting events that you did come to for Kent State that really stood out to you? And
I've been to every sport, of course. I've been to every sport, home and away. I used to travel to see the teams at different states and different arenas and different stadiums. And I would just show up kind of unannounced, just because it was on the schedule. And before the coaches knew me, they would be like, all right, who are you the parent of? And I would just be, no, I'm just a fan. And they embraced me. They knew my name after that. And I continued to do that. I've been following Kent State sports for years, fanatically at times. Luckily, I was able to know all the former student athletes after they left, which was great, because then when I became in charge of the varsity K club and I got to deal with those alumni, I was able to remember pretty much all of them. And it was great because I would run into them later and I would be like, oh, I can't believe, I'm seeing you, I'm meeting you. Could I get a picture with you? And they were a little taken back, like, who is this guy? And I would always come at them with like a lot of energy. Like somebody said, how is one of the oldest staff members have the most energy? And the answer to that is because I love it here. It's exciting. It's for me, I've been asked to talk about Flash Family quite a bit in different locations to different people. And it's something that I truly believe in because we are a family. It's something that probably I don't feel other schools have. They don't have that connection, that ingrained sense of belonging that a lot of Kent State grads too have. Like all the commonalities between us, either it's where do we hang out in our spare time, how many tickets did we get on our cars when we were going to school undergrad here. So I see that and I see those people and I can't wait to greet them. I want people to come in and enjoy their experience here. And this place is too much in my heart and soul. So luckily, I got to experience it and be able to meet a lot of people who also love this place. I'm a very, very, very lucky person, and I have enjoyed the years that I've spent here. And once again, Maggie McKendry is the one who really deserves all the thanks that I could give. So, and also just everybody that I've met here has been so sweet to me, and lucky man. So.
Coming from me and everybody else here, thank you so much for everything you've done for us. Thank you for your time today.
I appreciate this. Thank you for having me. You'll see me around. I mean, if anybody sees me, please come up. I'd love to hear stories about where you're from, what you did. More than likely, I know you. They have all left an impression on me, and it's something that I'm very thankful for.
I think you can do so much from traveling the world. So many people just stay in the box that we live in.
The study abroad program at Kent State made it clear what path I should be taking.
Experiencing the different classes to experiencing the art and the buildings and the culture. I'm just hoping to take back everything I've learned and be able to apply it into whatever I do in the future.
Kent State has basically helped to set up the vision for the career that I want to be able to go through.
For every just one more mile to your next ace on the court. When you have a sports-related injury, Cleveland Clinic is here for our Cavaliers, our Guardians, and athletes at all levels. Our sports medicine team helps keep you in the game with expert diagnosis, personalized sports therapies, and game-changing surgeries. For every injury, for every athlete, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Joined on Flash Talk by Kent State women's golf head coach Casey VanDamme. Coach, appreciate you joining me. You just started your spring season out in Puerto Rico, so tell me about that experience.
It was a good experience. It was the best field we played in this year. We didn't particularly play that well, but it was a good learning experience for everybody at the event. 25
consecutive MAC championships. What are you guys doing to prepare to try and get number 26?
We don't talk about it too much. We celebrate it. We're very excited that is the case. But we just try to get better and control what we can control. We can't necessarily control what other teams are doing. And so we're just trying to get better every day. And we've been doing a good job with that. We got a really young team. And so we'll just keep hitting the next shot, I guess, until then.
What are some of the challenges of having such a young team?
How this all works. Everybody coming in thinks, well, it's just I play golf, but you're at school, you're learning how to play when the weather's not so good. This winter's been a tough winter for us, so just learning how to adjust to that, to the schedule demands, and then how much we travel. We travel a lot, miss a lot of school, and so catching up on stuff. So a lot of that is the problem for young players. Speaking of the weather, obviously it's very snowy in Northeast Ohio. So what are the things that your athletes have to do to prepare during the off season when, they can't just go outside and practice? Yeah, well, we're really lucky. We've got a great golf facility that the donors here and administration has let us have. So we utilize that, first of all, and then anytime we can get outside, We have been outside. We'll shovel parts of the range off, and if there's the sun, which we don't see a lot of sun this time of year either, but when there is some sun, we'll get a little snow melt and go out and hit some shots on the grass, and that's what we do. And then we just get ready. The weather will turn, and it will get better soon, and then we're off and running.
Veronica Kedranova has obviously had a lot of success, not only last season as a freshman, but also as a sophomore, winning a couple of tournaments since she's been a Golden Flash. So what's been the key to her success in year 2?
She's doing really well. She's a really smart young lady, and she's just a hard worker. And so like every day she gets better, and different aspects of her game have really improved since she's been here in the last year and a half. And the sky's the limit for her. She has a lot of potential and room for growth still. So we're excited about that, and hope to see her keep pressing forward and setting a new standard for herself.
Who are some golfers that Kent State fans could maybe prepare to watch? Maybe a name that's a little bit under the radar.
We have 5 freshmen on our team this year, and 2 a junior and a senior, and so a very young team. We've had Leon Takagi. Hasn't had her greatest year, but she's won the MAC back-to-back time. She's a great player. So even though she's not underrated, she's won a lot of tournaments for us. She's really progressing well as of late, and expect to see her some pretty good results as the spring comes in. Our championship season comes into it, and then Gracie Larson, from a freshman from Australia, has really played well for us. She's Player of the Week after Puerto Rico, and she's someone to keep an eye on. And then Erin Matthews from Canada and Isabella Goyette from Medina, Ohio, both have shown a lot of great things this year, and we've got a good team. The lineup is a little bit uncertain at the moment. Jen Gu was freshman of the year for the MAC a couple of years ago, and she's a senior, so we expect her to finish off her senior year strong. And then another Petra Babikova.
How much excitement does that give you, knowing that you have 5 freshmen, you have Leon back next year, you have Veronica back? There's room for growth here, not only for the rest of this season, but next year too.
Yeah, well, it's very exciting, and going through the growing pains, it reminds you that like next year we're not going to have to go through that. So we're excited. We had a good freshman coming in next year as well, and so it'll be. I think I expect us to be much better. Not that we worry about next year yet, but I think we're going to have a good program for years to come here.
That's Kent State women's golf head coach Casey VanDamme. Coach, we appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Coming up this week in Kent State Athletics, brought to you by KSU Tix. Kent State Wrestling has the MAC Championships Friday and Saturday in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. Baseball starts a 3-game home set against Northern Illinois Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Scooney. Lacrosse is at Dick Stadium on Friday at 4 p.m. hosting St. Francis. Men's basketball has Senior Day hosting Eastern Michigan inside the MAC Center at 7 p.m. Friday. On Saturday, women's basketball hosts Toledo for their Senior Day at 1 p.m. Softball has a doubleheader in Columbus against St. Francis and Merrimack. On Sunday, March 9th, softball has another doubleheader against Ohio State and Oakland. Gymnastics has their last home meet of the season as they take on Ball State. Women's golf starts the Briars Creek Invitational for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday in Johns Island, South Carolina. Kent State Lacrosse hosts Cal on Monday at noon inside Dick Stadium. And finally, on Tuesday, baseball travels to the Fighting Dan Griffins for a 3 p.m. first pitch at Wright State in Dayton, Ohio. As always, you can buy your tickets at ksutix.com. If you want more information on your favorite Flashes teams, visit kentstatesports.com or visit the Go Flashes app. We'll be back with more right after this.
As you know, Kent State Athletics, our basketball team has historically been a huge part of our athletic department. We have a winning tradition. We always bring a great game. But in today's day and age, the basketball game itself isn't going to entice the average fan. We really need to come over the top. We need to do these exciting things like they do in professional sports. And without sponsors or partners like Ken Ganley, we wouldn't be able to afford to do like tonight, the esports night with the Ken Ganley game room. Also being able to do the $10,000 putt at halftime that they're supporting. So those types of things help us advertise and get out into the community and maybe reach people who are not just the average basketball fan. They also help us out off the court. So many of our faculty, our staff, and our coaching know that they can go to Ken Ganley Chevrolet, get themselves a vehicle in a short amount of time without having to shop everywhere. They're so important to us on so many levels that we're just so grateful that they're a part of our family, and I don't know how we would live without them.
Joined once again by Kent State men's basketball head coach Rob Senderoff. Coach Sende, we always appreciate the time. Last week, you go 1-1. We'll start with that big-time win at home against Toledo, a 40-point victory. What made everything click?
Yeah, well, it started defensively. When we do a good job on the defensive end of the floor, it allows us to get out in transition. It really allows us to score the ball and play at our best. So defensively, when we're at our best, it allows us to be at our best offensively. So that was probably a once every 10 or 15 year type of performance. Scoring over 100 points, playing a really good team, and playing at an elite level. So it was a great win for us. That secured us a spot in Cleveland for the MAC tournament.
Wop Sumlin, he had 20 points in that game. What is his role?
Like a lot of these guys, as the season's gone on, I think his understanding of how important he is to the team, first and foremost, and how he needs to play to help the team, has grown each and every game, basically. And, he plays with tremendous energy. He's incredibly competitive. And in that game, he scored the ball, he rebounded, he defended at a really high level. And he also, has the ability to make plays for others as well. So the biggest thing for him is just understanding possession by possession, how valuable each possession is.
We'll touch a little bit on that rivalry game against the school down the road. That was a tight game coming down the stretch. Your takeaways from that second half?
We have to play a little bit better to win that game on the road. Certainly, you're not going to take away moral victories against anybody, but compared to how we played a month ago when we played them, we were non-competitive in that game here in the MAC Center, and we played a much better game. We are a much better team than we were in January. I'm looking at the top two teams in the league, Miami of Ohio and Akron. We lost both games at home, and we're not very competitive in either game. We lost both games on the road where we held leads and late in the game gave those leads up. I'd like to think, and again, you can't go back, I'd like to think if those games were at home late, maybe the results would be different. It's not how it works, so it's easy to say that in my shoes, but they were on the road late, and we didn't hold on to the leads. We have to learn from those losses and figure out if we are to meet either of those teams again, what we need to do to come out on the correct side of that.
You guys have already clinched a spot, so does where you end up seating-wise really matter to you?
Finishing the year the right way matters. Senior night matters on Friday night for sure for the seniors on our program. Trying to win our 20th game, trying to make sure we have a winning MAC season overall. Trying to go into Cleveland on the right foot. All of those things matter. What seed we actually end up with, we can only control what we can control, and trying to play the best basketball we can play, making sure we're playing, with tremendous togetherness and confidence is more important to me than the number next to our jersey or next to our name when we go up to Cleveland. So Friday night in particular, for me as the head coach, senior night's really a sacred night for our program and for our players. And, we have two seniors that are not 4-year guys or 5-year guys, but we have 3 seniors that are 4- and 5-year seniors. And you're not going to see that all that often moving forward. So I want for them to be able to win that game, for that being their last game here at Kent. But for Mike and Marquise and Anthony, I want those guys to go out with a win as well. So, we're going to play as hard as we can each night. And I think at this point in the year, we're in a place where our guys are competing for each other. and for, you know, the name on the front, which is Kent State.
That's Kent State men's hoops head coach Rob Senderoff. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this week's episode of Flash Talk. Make sure you tune in next week as we preview the MAC tournament for both Kent State men's and women's basketball. For our entire GFTV studios, Justin Spots, Ethan Lachinsky, I'm Dane Richardson saying good night and go Flashes.
Golden Flashes fans, this is men's basketball coach Rob Senderoff. At Kent State, we're building champions both on and off the court. In order to keep our winning tradition on the court, we need your support of the Blue and Gold Collective. Now more than ever, we need you to be our sixth man.
Flash family, make sure to play the Blue and Gold Collective 50-50 raffle. And when you play, the Golden Flashes win.
Support the Blue and Gold Collective and help our Flashes soar.